Conspiracy Theories Everyone Believe is by Tommy NFG.
One of the funnest activities on the internet is looking at conspiracy theories that people come up with. And as much as we love to make fun of some of these
Literally what I do.
theories, we all in secret use them. I think the reason why so many people are into them now is because anything can become a conspiracy theory now. Before
true.
social media,
Very
there were
true.
still conspiracy theories, but the amount the public actually knew about was diluted. The most you had was the moon landing was fake theory or OJ Simpson is actually guilty theory. The OJ one isn't even a conspiracy now. We all still smoking on OJ's pack, by the way. But now I could be gone for a month and online could start making conspiracy theories on where I went. I've seen someone say I was cloned after I got rid of my afro and I'm not the same person. But there's certain conspiracy theories out there I believe that like 99% of the public believe is true. And of course, you know, we gotta start with the one that was in recent news. Epstein didn't himself.
I started seeing people saying that the conspiracy theory was that he killed himself. So everybody's like, maybe, we know he didn't kill himself. And now that the theory is that this fool actually did kill himself, which honestly, low-key, I was thinking about it the other day. Okay, the thing about Epstein, what if he knew something bad was going to happen to someone if he did, release other names or stuff like that? Because obviously he's in prison. Like, everybody think the conspiracy theory is that, he didn't kill himself because people were afraid that he was going to expose them. But what if it's the opposite? What if it's he actually did kill himself because he didn't want to expose the other people and he knew that they were going to force it out of him somehow, so he just offed himself so that he didn't have to put those people in jeopardy or maybe put his family in jeopardy. I don't know.
These are all family-friendly fun theories expressed under my First Amendment right. As of now, they're all allegations and nothing is proven with evidence as a recording, and we have to fully believe everything the government says. All right, I think I'm good. I'm not trying to get hit with that Trump Rico. The fact we had a Republican president and a Democrat president who both chose not to release it kind of shows to everyone it doesn't matter who's in power. The people at the top are always going to get away with things. And before someone says, well,
100% agree.
Tommy, Trump actually released the info, so the case is closed. If you actually believe the news that came out, you are top 3 dumbest on this. Yeah, bro.
Hey, not to get political. Not to get political.
Or this guy, or this guy, or this guy, or this guy, or this guy. I can keep doing more or this guys. This up has got to be one of the worst ups in modern presidential history. It's gotten so bad that he's now getting ratioed by his own supporters. He made this post on Truth Social trying to tell people and his supporters to forget about the Epstein case. Keep in mind, Truth Social is the app he made after getting banned on Twitter, so it's purely his supporters. Also, it's crazy to just tell people to move on like you and the people around you weren't campaigning on this issue.
That's what I was gonna say. I was just gonna say because again, I'm not getting political here. No one get mad. I think this guy's trying to get political. I'm not. That was a joke, by the way. Anyway, that was like the whole thing was like, he was going to become president. He's like, if I win, everybody's going to know about Epstein. Everybody's going to know about MLK. Everybody's going to know about JFK. All these things. And I don't think we know anything more than what we did, I don't know, a year ago, Again, I'm not trying to get political or anything. I'm just saying.
It's just very strange for a lot of people that the list of clients that went to the island has not been made public.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's very interesting, isn't it? Probably will be, by the way. Probably.
So if you're able to...
Probably will be.
Yeah, I'd certainly take a look at it.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? 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 Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
But yeah, he got ratioed on his own message about it, which is the first time that's ever happened on his app. Overall, the government did not do a good job if they were trying to hide info about this case. No one with a sane mind is gonna trust you after hearing all the coincidences that took place the night he unalived himself. And all of these mysterious coincidences so happened to go on while he was on trial for trafficking minors, where he was definitely gonna snitch on. If I'm known as one of the worst people ever and going to prison for life, I'm telling on every single person that was with me. The night doesn't even make sense when you hear it. The camera specifically outside his cell malfunctioned that day. You would think they would have backups installed using
that is very true. It's the craziest theory, and like what I said before, the craziest actual theory is that all of this was a big coincidence. And I swear to God, I'm not being paid by the government. I swear to God, the government isn't funding me or anything. I'll put it on everything I love. But it's just funny now that the conspiracy theory used to be that he didn't kill himself, and now the conspiracy theory is, wait a second, what if he actually did? What if he himself chose to do that? But I guess what he is saying here does make a lot of sense. It's like, he was ready to talk. And then all the coincidences, like, you know, where were the bodyguards? The bodyguards were gone. And oh, all of the cameras stopped functioning, you know, 10 minutes before and then it came back 10 minutes after. You know, like stuff like that. Like, but it's just funny that it just the theory literally flipped because yeah, you guys know what I'm saying.
That wasn't a priority. His cellmate was moved to another cell. And even when his cellmate was in his cell, this is the guy who they put in a cell with him. An ex-cop who had life sentences for murdering 4 people. And in Epstein's first case of quote-unquote unaliving himself, he blamed his cellmate for trying to literally kill him, but then his cellmate denied it and they dropped the charges immediately. I don't know, man. I haven't heard a lot of cases where somebody tries to unalive themselves and then blames another person for trying to do it. The 2 federal guards who, and yes, I'm gonna keep emphasizing it, get paid from our taxes, fell asleep and wrote down false records. In his autopsy, his neck bones were fractured in ways that experts said looked similar to strangulation. And all of these things were coincidences. I don't care who's in office or anybody in the government who tries to deny it. The public is always going to keep pressing them about this for the rest of time. If they wanted to hide this better too, then why would they even release the flight logs? I was
just thinking about the flight logs. As soon as you brought up Epstein, the first thing that came to my mind was the flight logs.
In case it's gonna take decades before the real truth gets exposed. It's gonna be a time where all the people involved in it are gone and no one in government who's involved in it now can get in trouble.
But here's a crazy conspiracy theory that you know, kind of goes against his point. If you guys saw one of my videos on my main channel, I think it was the first or the second conspiracy theory video. I talked about how Epstein was just a cover-up and like how bad it would be if they covered up something with Jeffrey Epstein, you know? So what if this, whatever's going on, you know, saying that theory's true, that Epstein was just a front man for it, and then like his involvement in the whole, you know, the CTN, if you know what I'm talking about, if his involvement was just so low and just a small fraction of it, and there's something, you know, much bigger going on, that what if it never ends and there will always be people in power who are part of this CT ring, you know?
Usually how these things go. It's the fact they have the audacity to think they can get away with this and we'll just move along.
Wait, what does that message even say? What's going on with my quote-unquote boys, and in some cases quote-unquote gals? They're all going after Attorney General Pam Bondi, who's doing a fantastic job. We're on one team, Megan. I don't like what's happening. We have a perfect administration, the talk of the world, and selfish people are trying to hurt it. All over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. 4 years, it's Epstein over and over again. We are giving publicity to files written by Obama, crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and the losers and criminals of the Biden administration. Damn.
Have the audacity to think they can get away with this and we'll just move on to the next
post,
thing.
low-key.
I don't even think this is a political issue. It's more of a humanity issue. You had a billionaire trafficking minors who was friends with the highest profile people. Them saying they have no client list is insane because the flight logs are public. And some of the people on those logs flew multiple times. And the whole public is supposed to assume no one heard the rumors about Epstein and their little groups. Like, as a creator, I can tell you, I've heard rumors from other creators in private about other creators. So I know the exact same was going down in their circle.
Really?
So I gotta clarify, I haven't heard rumors about another creator on like Epstein level timing, you know, just small things. I don't even think that would work on a content creator level. It'd immediately get exposed by some Twitter page ready to eat up the news.
I was gonna say, I don't really have many friends in the YouTube space. Obviously, I've been doing YouTube for so long, and I used to have a lot of friends in the YouTube space, but now, honestly, I can't really think of one person who I'm friends with that's also a YouTuber. But anyway, that's besides the point. And I'm not saying I don't like any YouTubers. I like a lot of YouTubers. I just have never had an opportunity to have a friendship with one or, you know, chat with. You know, I kind of just keep to myself, but maybe that will change. Anyways, I don't think I've ever heard... I mean, obviously, there's rumors and stuff, but I don't think another, you know, person on YouTube has told me something... I mean, actually, no, that's completely wrong. When I used to make Fortnite videos, and we had a pretty big friend group of creators who would get together and make Fortnite videos. And no, I actually have heard some shit. I've actually heard, I take that way back. I've heard some wild shit. Nothing like, honestly, I wouldn't say really anything illegal, more of just like shady stuff. And, you know, I think most of it, from my experience with, you know, hearing rumors about other YouTubers, is honestly just, it's usually about like their personalities or just who they are as people. Like, I've heard a lot of bad things about, honestly, a lot of YouTubers who are just completely different on camera than they are in person. Like, for example, just like people being, you know, dickheads when they're not on camera. And these are like big influencers. I mean, you hear that all the time, but I've heard that rumor a lot about a lot of different people. Because obviously, you know, you have friends who do YouTube, and then those friends have other friends, and you know, things just move on, you know, like.
We got the cancer cures already found, but pharmaceutical companies are hiding it for profit.
Yeah.
There is no way we've been studying cancer in modern times for over
I talked about this
100
theory
years
in my
and
other video
nothing
too.
has been found. Chemotherapy was invented in 1943, before the microwave was invented. And how many times have you seen a new quote-unquote breakthrough study come out about a cancer cure, only for no update to come out about it, and it's completely vanished from the public's thoughts? I've been hearing they've had new cancer breakthroughs since I was a kid. You're telling me what if you didn't find something by now? All right, man. This theory mainly comes from the fact that the medical industry makes so much money off of cancer patients. It sounds f***ed up, but there's probably some doctors out there who are happy when they do a diagnosis on their patient and it turns out they have cancer, because they know they're going to be making thousands off them for years potentially. The average cost of chemotherapy ranges from $10,000 to $200,000. It is actually impossible to live in
So sad though.
If I look at my hospital bill and see
sad.
200 G's, I'm immediately leaving the country once I get cured. Cancer treatment alone as an industry makes $100 billion a year. So imagine if they found a less complicated cure that was cheaper and could get you fixed up in a year. The rumor added on to this too is that pharmaceutical companies buy the patents for new cancer drugs that may work, and then don't continue developing it just so the cure is never found. What the pharmaceutical companies claim is they'll get the patents and try testing the drug, but it won't work well enough, or the side effects of the drug are too severe. If you want to believe every drug they start testing coincidentally gets shut down because of that, go ahead. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna be a bit skeptical about that. The thing I kind of don't believe in though is there's people who say you can heal it naturally. Like they'll say if you mix a
I don't know about that one.
From a forest in the middle of nowhere, a tribe hands you a special kind of leaf only grown there, and if you blend it with water, boom, you're cured. What happens most likely is it may help with some of
I've never been a real believer of that. I think there's definitely, of course, natural ways where you can prevent cancer, or not 100%, but I feel like there's obviously things you can do in just your daily life that will limit your chances of getting cancer. Obviously, like not smoking, you know, eating really clean. Like I'm sure obviously that helps a lot. But yeah, I've never really been a believer in you can cure cancer naturally. I just don't think that that's, I don't know. I'm pretty like, I'm like 99% sure I know like exactly what cancer is. Like obviously I know what it is, but like the true, like what it is, it's like what your cells attacking your other cells or something like that. I could be completely wrong now that I say that, but like I don't think there's a natural way to stop that. Or is it high? What? I'm just gonna stop talking.
Symptoms you get, but I feel like that's it. Next, we got that our phones are always listening to us to push products for us to buy. We've all had that moment where you're talking about something out loud and you open your phone, not even a nanosecond later, you have 5 ads about it. You're on YouTube and getting spammed ads about it for a month. This is already
seen it on YouTube,
sort of true, but not fully. There's been real cases where certain games and third-party apps have been caught recording people, but all of the social media apps where the rumors come from deny that they do it, which most of the time is where we see the ads. I don't know how much longer they can keep up this lie, because people have recorded themselves doing tests and talking about something on a brand new phone. Then when they open any social media app, they're already getting ads about what they talked about. It might be our fault, because I guarantee somewhere in when you accept the terms and conditions for social media, they have it written down, they can do it. Facebook's terms.
Yeah, because I honestly really haven't seen it too much on YouTube. I mean, but if you guys have, let me know down in the comments. But I was gonna say I see it a lot on Instagram. Instagram is a huge one, dude. And again, this is another theory I talked about in one of my videos on my main channel. But a few weeks ago, I was talking to my mom and we were just talking about like recipes and stuff and what to cook for dinner. And I was like, one day I want to try to make Philly cheesesteaks. And she's like, oh, that sounds good, whatever. And I was like, yeah, I've been, thinking about it, and I really want to make a Philly cheesesteak for dinner. Blah, blah, whatever. Literally an hour later, I go on my phone, I go on Instagram, I click on Instagram Reels, because I don't have TikTok, that is, okay? But I was looking at my Instagram Reels, I'm scrolling, the first ad I see on Instagram Reels, or not an ad, I was getting served Philly cheesesteak recipes on my Instagram. Not even an ad. Like, I was literally getting served Reels that were about Philly cheesesteak recipes. And I was like, that is either a very, very crazy coincidence that my fucking Instagram algorithm is showing me a recipe of something that I was just talking about, or they were listening to me and catered my algorithm so that maybe I would stay on that app longer, because now I'm looking at recipes for what I wanted to make for dinner, Crazy, very crazy. But yeah, now that I think about it, it not being an ad was kind of crazy, that it was actually part of my algorithm. But even the ad thing, like on Facebook, dude, I will go on Facebook for Facebook Marketplace. I'll go to my home screen, whatever, And yeah, it'll be an ad of, you know, whatever it may be.
Terms and conditions page is like 5,000 words. Looking at it, that's actually not a lot, but our lazy asses are not reading that. Out of all apps, Mark Zuckerberg would definitely be the one to want control over the population. Thank God Facebook fell off and
I don't know.
eating up AI slop.
I feel like Mark Zuckerberg kind of cooled out or chilled out. Maybe that's part of the act though. But I feel like every time I've seen Mark Zuckerberg recently, he's been like pretty sick. Sick as I probably shouldn't say that he's sick, but like he just seemed more of a human than he usually does, you know? I feel before everybody's calling him a reptile. Like that was a really big conspiracy theory. Oh, Mark Zuckerberg's one of them lizard people because he was just so awkward, but it seems like he's kind of gotten better. I don't know.
At a point just wanted to own the whole
and
world.
I'm not paid by Facebook, I swear.
Facebook got in trouble years ago because they got caught hiring people to listen in on voice messages. And their excuse was that it was to improve their transcription system. This is the type of stuff that be making me schizo about this topic. At random times, I'll point the middle finger to my camera whenever I remember there's someone that may be looking through it. Maybe pull out my meat and give them a little surprise. I never found out until later in my life also that Google has a setting where you can turn off personalized ads. Some people watching this may not even know that's an option. It would annoy me every time I searched up something, and for the next week I'm getting ads about that one thing. Even though I have the personalized ad setting
but
off,
I kind of like that, no? Like, I feel like if I'm shopping for something, like especially like on Amazon, because Amazon kind of does the same thing where it's like, if you've, I think every single like shopping site does that. If you're shopping for something and you have something and you either add it to your cart or you're just looking at it and you're like actually spending time looking at it, then every time you go on that website, it's going to show you that product or the same product, but cheaper. Like, I kind of like that, especially on Amazon. Like, dude, sometimes I'll be looking at like, oh, I really want a new bed frame or something. And I'll be looking at a few bed frames. And then every time I go on, you know, like I obviously didn't find the one because I didn't buy one, but I'm still thinking about it. Like, hey, I really want a new bed frame. So every time I log into Amazon, they're like, hey, here's some other bed frames that you haven't looked at. You know, here they are. Like, I kind of like that. No, I feel like that's kind of sick. Like, it's a life hack, not a life hack. Like, it's something you do. It's a thing to make quality of life easier, ease of life. I don't know. But if that's what he's talking about, I'd keep that on. I like that. Unless he's talking about every time you search something, then you get the ads for that.
I'll still see them push products from something I searched up. If they have a setting for something like this, I don't think it's far-fetched that they could be listening to our phones. And last, we got the government suppresses
so he's talking about you search something on Google, and then Google will start giving you ads of whatever you were searching up. Okay, that makes sense. It's a lot different on, I think it's very different on things like Amazon or, you know, wherever you shop online. Like, dude, if I'm on, I don't know, if I'm trying to buy a new cowboy hat, but I can't find one I like, and then they keep, and then, you know, Boot Barn or whoever is, you know, showing me other hats. Like, I feel like that's not bad, but I guess, yeah, if I were to just search cowboy hat just because I'm using it for a picture and then all of a sudden I'm getting ads for cowboy hats, like, okay, I see.
To keep certain industries alive. I'm gonna be talking from a purely American perspective. I know it happens in other countries, but obviously I mainly know about how it happens here. There are certain industries in America that everyone can tell would be destroyed if they let certain things happen. One recent example people talk about is the car industry. Cars in the US as of recent have been not the most affordable, to say the least. To get a new decent car in 2025, you're gonna have to sacrifice an arm and a limb. It doesn't help either that some new cars may be more expensive due to tariffs and whatnot. Because of this, a lot of people have been looking at Chinese cars and how cheap they can be, while damn near being as a luxury or better than the cars here. But due to laws in the US, and none of those cars can be sold here. Because as most people are predicting, if they start letting them sell those cars here, all the American car brands would be cooked. If you look in other countries that they're able to sell in, they dominate.
I mean, shit, I drive a Japanese car. Toyota gang. Got myself a fucking Toyota 4Runner, the best car in the world. Why I would never ever want something different, you know? That shit's reliable. I've actually had 2 Toyota 4Runners. I bought one when I was 15, right before I got my license. Then I bought another one 2 years ago. I just got a little bit of a newer one. And dude, the only thing I've had to do is put new brakes on the one I got 2 years ago. That's it. Brakes, an oil change every 5,000 miles, 4,000 miles, whatever. And that thing will run forever. It's only got like, I think that's 97,000 miles. But it's like, dude, if that's a Ford, 97,000 miles, oh, time to get a new engine.
They're usually in like top 3 most sold car brands in that country. To show y'all how cheap it is, the biggest car brand in China called BYD has a car that you can buy brand new, a 2025/2026 model for $15,000. And they also have a car that starts brand new at $10,000.
I think it's
to be
fugly,
fair,
though,
they are smaller cars and are also electric, but to most people, price is everything. They could care less. Like, yeah, the average car guy may not want to be seen in it.
Dude, that
but to
iPad's
everyone else that doesn't
rotating,
care
brother.
about cars, they don't care. Those are the prices for the most basic models too. So imagine if you wanted to spend a little bit more to upgrade. If a Chinese electric car brand had the ability to start selling here, Tesla would have a year left before going bankrupt. This theory isn't far-fetched.
I don't know
It's
about
even
that.
proven now
I feel like a lot of people
the
just
reason
get
why
Tesla
electric
because
cars
it's
weren't as popular
Tesla.
and being produced
You know,
in
they don't even
America.
care
It's 'cause all
about the
oil
car that
companies
much.
and gas companies would lobby in Congress to
More
slow
just
them
to
from
say, oh, I have a
expanding the
Tesla.
industry. The first modern electric car was made in 1996, but I guarantee if you asked most people back then, they probably would think an electric car was never invented. Electric cars only started getting popular past the 2010s. The gas and oil industry is probably top 5 most evil industries in the world. You can guarantee anytime there's an invention that would help convenience the average consumer, they're ready to shut it down and have the government stop it. Them and the car
100%.
companies did the same with trains and streetcars. With America's GDP, people always question why we don't have a major high-speed train system between states. We got some that connect between states, but it's nothing major and usually way too slow. California has one
Yeah.
that travels from Chicago to San Francisco, but it takes 52 hours. I'm gonna be going insane if I'm in any vehicle for 52 hours. Might as well throw me out because everybody would be facing my wrath. You're better off flying and shaving 48 hours off the trip. Countries like Japan and China have proven you can make a high-speed system that connects the country. Of course, this would never happen though because the oil companies would immediately step in and shut it down. As soon as they'd even hear a peep
yeah.
of the government talking about starting it, you know they're wiring politicians millions as friendly donations to stop
Yep.
it. Going back
Yep,
to
yep,
the
yep, yep,
industries
yep.
though, I understand why the government may not want another country's competitor to dominate their market. Every major country does the same to protect themselves. They really try to sit and gaslight the public though by telling us the product we have here is the best and not the one they restricted. If the one that's restricted isn't the best, then why not let us have it?
What
and
if
see it's
you
not the-
bought a, I don't know why I'm thinking about this, but what if you bought a, like you went to Japan and bought a Japanese vehicle? Could you have it shipped back to the United States, or would it just be taken by like customs or whatever? Or maybe like you can't register a Chinese or a, you know, Japanese car here? Would you not be able to register it maybe? I don't know. That's a good question.
best because clearly if it isn't, then no one's gonna buy it, right? Anyways, that's gonna be all. Let me know what y'all think and if y'all believe in these conspiracies or not. Follow up on the Twitch. I'm streaming all summer. Follow me
Yeah,
on
dude, that was a really good video. Shout out Tommy NFG. I think that's actually the first video I've ever watched from this guy. But no, he's sick. I'll give him a quick little subscribe, you know? But yeah, no, that's a very, very interesting video. I mean, I feel like because this video is obviously about conspiracy theories that everybody knows, like that those were pretty basic conspiracy theories. But I mean, yeah, he has a point. Those, I feel like those are things where basically the conspiracy theory flipped, like I was saying with the Epstein thing. Like, you know, they're claiming that this happened, and then the conspiracy theory is, well, no, that didn't happen, but this happened. And then that conspiracy theory is now so well believed that that's now what they're saying, and then the conspiracy theory is the opposite, if you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe with those post notifications on. Make sure to go check out Tommy NFG. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.